So this week's chapter of My Hero Academia was quite interesting. That said, it was of course another chapter where they just talk things out in the meeting they're having as they plot how to deal with the Eightfold Cleansers and rescue the little girl that Chisaki is forcing to do things for his benefit. Essentially, the entire chapter did revolve around Night Eye's foresight ability. They discuss whether to use it in order to find the enemy's whereabouts and whatnot. But we then have Night Eye himself actually refuse to assist with this. While this has people all riled up because his ability could be of great help, he does explain why this is. So we find out that he won't be helping with his foresight unless a mission is already at an optimal success rate. His ability is something to be used only as an extra insurance on a mission that's already due to be a success basically. And since the mission in question is very far from that, he does not want to gamble someone's life away potentially, because there's obviously a chance that someone could die. While it's possible that someone could die, finding out something crucial, Night Eye isn't willing to kill an ally off simply to gain some good intel. He's seemingly against this on a pretty high level. He does point out something like that they're not going to do what All Might used to do and just go in blind or whatever. Night Eye is more or less All Might's polar opposite in this respect, it seems. I can see why Night Eye wouldn't want to gamble someone's life away though. I mean, it would basically mean that he'd be able to see them die before it actually happens, and that's both irresponsible in some ways and most importantly, it's something that he'd have to live with for the rest of his life. And if at the end of the day it doesn't even yield them anything at all, it's literally just throwing away the life of a hero. Even if it is a relatively inexperienced hero, it's still a life, and each and every life has a high value in the eyes of heroes. Okay, so let's talk about the end of this chapter as well, because I do want to make this kind of a review. And at the very end we get something pretty interesting between Aizawa and Deku, because we actually see what appears to be Aizawa caring about Deku. And while he obviously cares and always has, this is one of the few times we see him openly show it, since he's a pretty close in character emotionally. He did of course start up by bringing up the fact that he did originally plan to suspend their internships and all of that because of the fact that the League of Villains are involved in this whole conflict now. But he does also tell Deku that he knows that it doesn't even matter if he suspends it because he's just gonna help out anyway. Then we get to the emotional part where he basically tries to give more hope to Deku, so he brings up the moment when Deku almost managed to save this little girl back in the alley. And Aizawa explains that he's confident that this girl did feel something more than just despair at the very moment that Deku was holding her. Which we later find out is true of course, as it does cut to the little girl briefly, where she does actually tell herself that the moment that Deku touched her was unlike anything she's ever felt before. If it wasn't obvious enough before, it sure is now that Deku will indeed be taking the rescue role in this mission. If he doesn't, well, then that's some pretty clever storytelling, I'll tell you that. Well, anyway, I'm going to end the video here. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Was it good or a bad chapter? I personally found it a bit 50-50. I mean, the meeting is basically over, so it's probably gonna get more exciting in the next chapter. Anyway, as always, if you did, please like this video if you enjoyed and subscribe if you're new to my channel. This has been your favorite host, Perm, and I'll see you soon.